Hello, you're very welcome to a Gauntlet Hangouts game. For those watching this for the first time, I question why you skipped to the very end, but it's your prerogative. Um, but for those who don't know, the Gauntlet is a community online that's basically bringing together cool people to play cool role-playing games, mostly story games, OSR, just fun, interesting indie stuff. Check them out, gauntlet-rpg.com for all the stuff they do, which includes Hangouts where this game was arranged. This game is Masks, Iron Red Soldiers, part 4 of 4. So we are now at the conclusion. So once again, I'm not going to reiterate everything because, again, if you skip to the end, no, your prerogative. I already said that. Your prerogative. I'll not question that. Do what you want to do. But yeah, links down on the description as always if you want to check out Masks or the Unbound supplement where Iron Red Soldiers is found. We have a range of fantastic players as always here. Three regulars who have been in and out throughout the series, and another really cool special guest. I'm very excited to see what they bring to the table. So we'll just introduce yourselves. Let's just stick because we're running a bit short. I know there's a lot of cool stuff to shout out, but we're just probably gonna skip that. So probably just name and pronouns. If you want to shout out something, sure, but it's not a requirement. We'll start with Ludo.
So I'm Ludo. I go by any pronouns, and I'll be playing Regicide. So do I introduce her, or at this point?
You know what? Sure. But you've said you're playing Regicide. Now people are gonna know, unless if the people who have skipped to this are gonna know. Wait, Regicide? What's that?
So Regicide is Xenaya Tsevnota Dread, or as she goes by, Casey Dread. She is a clone of the Dread Queen of Fretovia, and she has been struggling to find her own identity and her own life. And then an alien invasion happened. So she had to step up and be a hero now that the real heroes have been now kidnapped. And she has pretty much inflicted quite the severest blow to the Tangee so far. And now she hopes that her and her ragtag team can join the heroes and are not sidelined in the last moments.
We'll see. So yeah, I think we'll stick that. Let's introduce your characters now as well, and we'll save our newcomer for last so we can flesh them out how the other characters know them. So up next we have Louise. Tell us about yourself and about turn.
Is it me? Because you glitched a little on my end.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm Luis. I go by he and him. I'll be playing Turn today. And I'll try to make it as short as I can because I ramble on these. It's basically like a foul-mouthed, slutty Latino twink with magic powers, a very big desire to stick it to the power, and very poor impulse control, and a large, how can I say, an inclination for quipping and making hero jokes and stuff like that. And he's currently very angry because things are not going well for this guy who saved his friend on the last session before this one, and he's on a vengeance now. He's upset.
Well, we'll see where all that upset leads. Returning to this session. Sad we did not see for the island adventure, but they're back now for the finale. Robert, tell us about yourself and Loki.
Hi, I'm Robert. I go by he, him pronouns. I'm playing Kevin Ryback, aka Loki. That's L0K1. And he is a teenage inventor, hacker who designed a predictive AI, a smart AI that went rogue and try to enslave mankind for their own good. So he's trying to make up for that mistake in whatever way he can.
Well, yeah. Well, they've had a yeah. I was gonna say the one session, last session where we had lots of robots up the wazoo. We didn't have tech whiz. There was a bit of a struggle there, but now Loki can help them out in that regard once more. We'll see if we get more progress about that whole AI who wants to take over the world. We'll see. Last but not the least, joining us for this session, we have Tomer. Tomer, tell us about yourself, and then we'll talk about your character.
Sure. So I'm Tomer, or Tomes. I use he, him. My character is going to be Paula Astadan. She was just hired as a janitor to work at some, evil lair, unknowingly sometime in the distant past. But what ended up happening was she accidentally, or through circumstances, this evil superhero or whatever had an alien creature that they had either stolen from a government or whatever. And when it accidentally got out, or she helped it escape or whatever, the two of them kind of started working together. So her superhero name is Duo, and Duo goes by they, them. And, they basically look like her, kind of, but then this space slug, is able to change forms really kind of dynamically. So her outfit, as Paula, is actually part, like it's half of the space slug. Is Duo is the outfit and the person, right? And there's a little bit of like mind linking going on. Normally when you talk to Duo, you're talking to Paula, but occasionally the slug, which is Tsuul, speaks through Paula. So Duo does become this kind of like merged personality a little bit. And I'm playing the Beacon.
Fab, that's really cool. Space love. Yeah. That's gonna be fun. I can't wait to see you interact with everyone else. Let's go to your backstory questions. If actually before we do that, before we do deep dive, let's talk about safety for a moment. Because this game's arranged in the Gauntlet, and the Gauntlet has a policy of making sure that everyone plays in a safe and comfortable environment. The main point here is obviously to have fun, engage the system, and tell cool, construct cool stories with each other. So we have a bunch of safety tools. The main one we use is the X card. So basically, if we ever reach a scene where things get uncomfortable, or there's something there that makes anyone here feel uncomfortable, put up an X or on the chat or on the roll for your party as well, if you don't want to call yourself out, which is fine. If that happens, we're gonna roll back the scene. No one gets to ask why. I might ask a clarification on what's being rolled back, but no one has to justify if things have to be X'd. We also have some lines and veils. Basically, lines are things that won't show up on screen. Veils are things that are like, it can happen in the fiction, but we're not going to put it out on display. We can say it happened and just have to show up there. They're in the character keeper tab. I'm not going to shout them out. So, Thomas, if you have anything you want to add, just add it there. Just make sure everyone just like look over there and see, just where we're going. We've been keeping it fairly PG-13-ish so far, so we'll probably stick to that tone. So this should be grand. Also, we have an open table policy. If anyone needs to leave for whatever reason, either you need a break or something comes up, that's perfectly fine. We'll pause the action and let y'all go. Like if you really need to go, it's perfectly fine. I'm not gonna question it. So yeah, so those are the tools we have for today, and After that, I guess we'll go through back. Let's go through your back. Do you want to go through your backstory, Paula, or do you want me to recap what's happened since? Just like a quick one.
When you say go through my backstory, what do you mean? Like go through something on the sheet type thing?
Yeah.
Like, oh, that
Yeah.
part, right?
Oh, I guess.
Um,
Well, actually, some of the questions have been answered already,
yeah.
anyway. But the last three, I do want to know.
So who outside the team thinks you shouldn't be a superhero? I think whoever originally had this slug, I think they were trying to source it for, it has like these psychic brain waves, right? And so I think they were going to try to use that for something, right? And I think they just look at me as just like somebody who was in the wrong place at the wrong time, has just stolen this resource from them, right?
All right. All right.
Doesn't deserve it.
So the thing is, this person might or might not show up today, but the nice thing
Sure.
is, if you, I run a lot of masks anyway. If you ever end up again in a masks game, they might show up. Unless, do you have a idea of who they are?
Only no, because I don't really know what you guys are up to, but I'm cool with like leaving it vague and
Yeah, I'll make a note of it, and if we ever see, hopefully, if we ever see Duo again, they'll pop up. All right. So why do you try to be a hero then?
I think Paula was always working hard and just trying to support the people around her. I don't think she has like an immediate family. I think she yeah, I want to say she immigrated over. She was from the Philippines, right? But she's been in the country for a little while, and she's one of those people who becomes this like center of the community, right? Like, so the city she was living in, like she like knows everybody, but and will help anybody or that kind of stuff. She just has that personality of like, somebody's in need, cool, I'm there, because yeah, she doesn't have anything like selfless or selfish about kind of like her day to day.
All right. And the last question is, why do you care about the team? I guess it's more like, why do you care about these specific people, these specific heroes? It's fine. It's fine if you don't have an answer for that, because you're just jumping in at the end here. So that's perfectly fine. You don't have to answer when our team first came together, because again, it's a bit redundant for where we are now. The thing is, I want to make sure that y'all kind of know each other, at least know of each other. Unless you want to be the first time you met them, but otherwise, I want to just kind of skim over that. But unless you want to like see like their first meeting.
You know what I mean. So just to, I think, to flesh out that why does she want to be a hero thing? It's not like she's selfless for no reason. I think she has this traumatic background where the place she came from fell apart due to all sorts of, different types of like misunderstandings and the normal politics that people have, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of went overboard, and I think that's how she lost a lot of the people who were close to her. So I think she's always tried to kind of like massage the community around her to try to get it to work together. So it's not like she's just helping everybody, but she's trying to help everybody communicate. And I think what's happened now with this slug thing is like now she actually has some slight mental sensitivity, and so she's kind of be able to take that to kind of the next level. And I think she looks at even superheroes, she looks at them as the next level of people who can fuck shit up if they don't communicate well, right? Like if they're not talking together and they're not working together, they become the next villains, and they just trash everything around them, right? So I think that's kind of her thing, is like, okay, yeah, I used to work with the community when I was a person. I'm no longer just a person. Like we are, her and Tool are working together to make sure that this next level community where the stakes are higher, like I need to make sure that they, all kind of work together. So I think that's kind of, and maybe that's why she cares about the team, right? Or they care about the team, is like they see that this is like stakes are high.
Okay. All right, that's fascinating. All Okay, so do you want to answer those relationships then, or do you want to leave them for now? Because of what you said, you probably don't need like specific bonds with anyone anyway. I think you can just deal with them collectively. I mean, heroes probably should have a union.
They are kind of freelance after all.
Yeah, Tamara, you're muted.
Yeah, I was sorry. Thanks. I was gonna say the questions look kind of rad though.
Mm.
So the first one is somebody is awesome, and I take every chance I can to hang out with them. God, who would not want to hang out with me? Because like that sounds like the right person to choose here. Is it the delinquent?
If she's really like this goody two shoes type of person that wants people to communicate, then Turn would have a very hard time being around her.
I love it. So yeah, I think
yeah,
I think Duos is really into Turn.
Awesome.
And the second one is you've got to prove yourself to somebody before you feel like a real hero. Yeah, maybe one of you has done something kind of like, what have you guys done? What's like the next level hero shit you did?
I mean, we pretty much assaulted by just 3 of us assaulted a foreign nation.
Yeah, that did happen. Managed to get away. Although I will say you only got away because that was all set up by the Dread Queen. Basically, it's a very convoluted like reason to talk to you in person.
Well, the media does not know.
True.
What's Loki known for doing?
That's right.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Loki is sort of like he's known for, well, he's on contract with Aegis to basically build stuff for them. He did also like blast in his armor last time he was here, and rescue some civilians that got kidnapped and used as leverage against Lizzy's character.
Would Loki have ever done something like, so Loki's under contract is what you're saying, right?
Mhm.
But like would he have ever done something that is kind of behind the scenes to help some set of people out, even if it was like beyond his remit? Do you know what I mean? Even if it's not well known, like if it was something.
Yeah, he probably, he takes any chance he can to like basically make up for past mistakes. So, he do such stuff off the books as well.
I think maybe that's it then. I like that idea that maybe Duo knows that you've done, you haven't claimed responsibility, but they kind of figured out that you knew, you kind of did this thing for some community that maybe, I was tangentially related to or something. And kind of like you didn't have to do it, but it was just something that, you felt like this was the right thing to do. And I think that's kind of like a shining example of what we need to strive for, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you can think that it's a Tony Stark sort of thing. Like,
yeah, no, that sounds great.
He's doing it to solve his own conscience.
That's awesome. I love it.
Oh, poor Loki. Well. All right. So we'll leave it there. One last thing, actually, influence. So tell us about the rule here for your influence. Duo, down at the bottom of the beacon sheet in the second page.
So you are so excited to be here. Give influence over you to 3 of your teammates. So it's just these 3 thugs, right?
Yeah.
Do I need to do anything?
No, they No, influence is like they either people have it on you or they don't. So basically, it lets
Right.
you do a lot of stuff. Basically, you care about what they have to say.
And so when I plug it in under my sheet. I put and I say they have influence on me. Got it.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'll do that.
So yeah. Jesus. I don't know what happened when Loki has a lot of influence on people. Okay. All right. So, and also Regicide knows that. All right. So, I'm gonna do a recap, and then I'm kind of like, before we get to the big fight, I think I'm gonna let you all like frame a quick scene each, because it's kind of like the calm before the storm, and because for one thing, I want to do it to be introduced to all of you all, and to all the other NPCs, which we have quite a few actually. But first, so the Tangee. They have occupied Prospect City on the grounds that they have determined with their time-space observing machine called the Observer, that a superhero from this city will somehow cause a chain of events that will cause the fabric of time reality to collapse. So they have come here and taken over your city and beaten back your heroes and taken control because they believe themselves to be right, to be saving the world. But over the past 3 sessions, they've slowly chipped away at their control. For one thing, you've taken a piece of their observer machine, which is this relay box, allowed our harbinger to go back to their timeline. You freed the superheroes that they've managed to imprison in the initial fight, but they're not beaten. And last session, we found out from a villain monologue from the leader of the Tangee here, a General Kurin, commander of the Crown Abundant, which is their flagship, that they've found the hero that they're looking for, and they're going to execute him very soon. The Crown Abundant is their flagship. It's floating above Prospect City, and I've described it as basically a jagged, sharp thing of a ship that's been protected by the shield, and so far seems impregnable. But the main important thing is that to our heroes, they found out that the hero that's being executed is a friend of theirs, who was captured back in session 2. A friend of theirs named Freak, or Michael Manners. Well, I don't think many people knew his real name, but they just know him as Freak, who is this teenage boy who got turned into living nanites, and so they can reform their body to all look weird and whatnot. They got captured, and now the Tangee announced they're about to execute it. So, but if you rescue those superheroes, but here's the thing: this is not Halcyon City. Halcyon City has 5 superheroes for every square foot. Prospect City has 5 superheroes. That's it. That's it. And well, two of them were already free. We met them two of them we met in the last session. Infinite Violet, who hates Regicide, and Magma Fist, and and 3 others. So that's all you get. Actually, I kind of want to know who these heroes are. I'll let I have an idea for one of them, so I'm gonna let Loki and like Duo tell me who who tell me two of these other superheroes, if you got ideas. So we have a woman who can access a dimension full of infinite purple energy, and we got a man who makes his fist into magma. Well, actually, I can bump it up to 6 superheroes, so each of you can make one. So yeah, each of you can make a superhero. So yeah, Prospect City has 6 superheroes. That's it. Well, technically 7, but one of them retired after an injury. See Mask Caught in the Spiderweb for more info on that. So while you're thinking about it, like I said, give you four heroes to make and 4 quick scenes to set up, and then I'll tell you all what needs to be done to attack this ship, the Crown Abundant. Go on.
So just to be clear, we're each creating. So there's 2 superheroes you just mentioned: the purple energy girl and the magma fist dude.
Mhm.
And then we're each creating another superhero. These are heroes on our side.
Yes,
These are the Prospect 6 that are like the superheroes of Prospect City, and then
pretty much, yeah.
And these are the ones we just freed and are going to help us go take
Yes.
down the ship, maybe, or whatever. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure I'm on board. All right.
Yeah, because when I realized, like in the previous session, you freed all the superheroes. That's a bit too much. That might make things easy. And I realized, no, wait, no, this is not New York. This is not LA. And I'll say this as well, because while soon after the heroes were freed, there's a big change in the Crown Abundant. Again, it's a sharp, long, jagged thing, and once you all come back from Vortovia, suddenly pieces of it start detaching, and soon detach, like 4 long wedges detach from each side. In the middle, it's just this again, just like this, the chassis. It's not elegant. It's a lot of sharp, like, spikes and attachments as it's kind of slowly floating upwards as these 4 wedges start kind of like arranging themselves underneath and around it as floating platforms, basically. And I think people can tell that suddenly the Tangee kind of engaging the end game, because before that they were like, oh, we're collaborating with the local government to ensure our mission is doing fine. But now they're like, it is now like open control. They're not hiding away from, like, no, we control the city and we're nearly done with our objectives. So there's more like patrols around. There's more like buildings being kind of torched. It is going to be open warfare soon. All right. Anyone's figured out the hero? Yeah. Louise, or Taryn, do you wanna tell us which of the Prospect 6 you've got?
I figured they would need someone that has multiplying capability so they can handle the city with just 6 people. And I came up with Prism. She's a female superhero in a white costume that can split into up to 7 other copies of herself. But each of them is one color on the rainbow spectrum, but they all have distinct personalities, like the colors in Green Lantern. So only about 2 of them are useful, which is like compassion and courage or something like that. There's like fear and depression in the middle. So she basically only uses the 2 of them. When she really needs to go all out, it's like, oh wait, Prism is helping. There's one of her copies is crying over there on the curb instead of fighting someone.
Wow, that's it's very fitting for this fucking city.
That's fantastic. I think I have one too. I think I've got Iron Turtle.
Ooh.
And he kind of got mutated by something, but he's basically indestructible, but he is like super slow. So like he'll eventually get there, and when he does, like no one can take him down, and he's extremely strong, but he's just like not fast.
The very definition of an immovable object. Well, movable, but take your time. I like him.
So mine is Grey Fox. She's the former sidekick of Black Fox, which is, who is basically like the Halcyon City equivalent of Batman. A very sort of gadgeteer, uses martial arts and, just technology to put themselves in the same playing field as the heroes with actual powers. she split off from Black Fox for they have different ideas about how to do things. So she's moved here and is operating here with her own cache of gadgetry. Just as an aside, I would probably know this because I've had access to the Aegis files, but it's not commonly known. She's a detective in the Prospect City Police Department.
Ooh, interesting. All right. Kind of want her to have like a weird pseudo philosophical rivalry with a snake themed superhero, but that's my Metal Gear fandom saying there. We're not tools of the government, Snake. Even though I work for the police. Oh God! I know if she ever shows up in a future game, she's gonna have a raspy voice like that. I'm sorry. All right, Regicide.
Hey, quick question. Do we have names for the Magma Fist guy and the Purple Energy girl?
Yeah. Well, Magma Fist guy is just named Magma Fist.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to rewatch the VOD from the previous because that was Andy suggested that hero. And the Purple Angel is Infinite Violet. That's her name. She is actually on Regicide's chart as her parents' greatest enemy.
So the last hero, supposedly the greatest hero of Prosperity City, Golden Development, which actually, even if they are a Silver Age hero, they pretty much they use their hero status mostly to acquire propriety or to try to run to mayor or to do some shady dealings. They have this very garish golden and silver suit, and they have the local pride, which is their own super vehicle, and their actual power is supersonic voice, and they are able to destroy objects with their voice.
Oh my God, they sound insufferable. Well, what's Golden Development's pronouns?
They.
All right, cool. Well, so far they're unsuccessful. We do have a sitting mayor at the moment, established in the previous series. Okay, so that's your backup. This lot. Well, along with Agent Fumero and the whatever's left of Aegis and the other two organizations. So okay. I kind of want, like I said, I want to see like the calm before the storm. So we're gonna I kind of want like a scene, from each of you and see like what are y'all preparing before this assault and what's the setup, because it seems pretty straightforward. Like they've announced they're gonna execute this person, and it is just all out assault on the Crown Abundant. Yeah, so if anyone has a scene, meanwhile I'm gonna copy paste like requirements, because Iron Red Soldiers is this place that has a mission structure, and missions are they're kind of generated by what the players want to do, which is usually 2 free or 2 something X, and this seems pretty straightforward. And then here's a list of stuff you probably need, and the more stuff you check off from that list, the better you'll do in the mission, which means it just means I have less hard moves to make. So there's a lot to think of there. Should put that in a character keeper now that I think about it. Do that in a bit just so everyone can see it. Yeah, and also run down the list of NPCs we had, which again should put in character. Well, you have the Prospect 6. I want to talk to any of them or include them in the scene. That's fine. Let's see. Infinite Violet. Agent Fumero is still around. She is an Aegis agent working for Cloaks, which is the organization that's basically the Underground Railroad of Prospect City for now. Met her a few times. She's kind of like the handler for this team, and she is literally Amy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. She is just basically that. Let's see. You want to? I mean, Regicide knows some supervillains. You want to meet more supervillains? Oh, that's the thing as well. Supervillains have been openly working for the Tangee because the Tangee are like, we're only here to look after our own stuff. You know, we're not here to interfere with human law enforcement. So that's kind of like why Aegis hasn't concentrated on taking them down because they're busy trying to round up all the other supervillains. So that's why you've seen like other supervillains like Eris or the Dread Queen working with the Tangee. Speaking of Eris, well, who knows? Who knows where she is? Let's see what else. Well, there's Turn's best friend. There's the captured Tangee soldier that was captured in a session or two ago. Bistok is her name. She's a wren, as in the bird wren, sort of Tangee. Also, we determined, yeah, Tangee are like different kinds of birds because I don't want them all to look like the same bird. Yeah, so, and looking at the list of stuff, location, the target, it's obvious. It's kind of obvious. Big damn ship in the sky. But yeah, we'll handle that when we get there. So if anyone has a scene they want to see. All right, go on.
So I was last time I was here, I was gonna work on that observer.
Mm-hmm.
To try and see if it could be used to our advantage.
Okay. I feel like that would be a bit of a role because it's a big, complicated, time-inducing machine. I'll give you a +1 because you've had the time to work on it, but it's going to be an assess the situation.
Okay. I don't have any minuses for that, do I? Superior. Okay, so the roll for your party just take a minute to load. Okay.
No worries.
So that's 5, 6, 7.
All right. All right. Cool. All right. So ask a question, and take +1 while acting on the answers.
Okay.
And you don't have to say that. You forget the word here. Just what is like. Just use those questions around the observer.
What here can I use? How can I use this to stop the Tangee?
Okay, so that piece of the observer you have was used to track down time-space anomalies. That was what Eris was using. That's how she found y'all, because you were with a time-space anomaly. That's the thing is, this piece is like, it's not. You think it'd be essential, but the thing is, they found what they're looking for, so they probably don't need it. But it is a complicated piece of engineering to access space and time. So you figure that you can modify it to turn it to basically a supercharged battery, or even like a bombing device that can because we use it to access space and time in the very first session. So theoretically, you can use it to do the same, to access space and time as well. You don't have freak, but you're a genius. You can figure it out. So you figured that you can use this observer to open a portal in space and time, or to use its engineering to maybe flood the Tangee observer with time space energy, and in the best of superhero comics, I guess, make things explode in spectacular fashion. So you kind of have a big bomb with you now.
Okay. So I'm totally not the problem that they came here to fix.
No. Turns out having devices that can access space and time, it's like carrying nukes in your pocket. It's a bit much. Yeah, Regicide, you had a scene you wanted to just jump through for a bit?
Yeah. After we rescued the superheroes, after the initial briefing, she's going to stalk Infinite Violet because she's still a bit hurt because the only interactions that they had before all this happened was basically her calling her out and denouncing her in front of the entire city. So, after literally saving her, she feels like she's kinda honored a bit of an apology. So she's pretty much being around her every single time that she gets, trying to get her attention.
Okay. I kind of want to include someone else in this team. So I think when you come across Infinite Violet, okay, who wants to be talking to Infinite Violet while Regicide bursts in, talking to the other three of you?
Sure. Why don't I just jump in?
Okay. Regicide, can you describe what Infinite Violet looks like for us?
So Infinite Violet pretty much looks, imagine a female Cyclops, but the bodysuit is purple and the visor is shaped like a prize, and she looks like particularly tall and aloof.
What is the? So you're talking about the prism, like the visor thing?
Yeah,
Right?
instead of being the square, it's more
Yeah.
like a prism. It has a little pop.
Okay. All right. Cool.
And I think, yeah, Infinite Violet's talking to you as if like, are you sure you know what you're signing up for? This is not going to be. I'm so I apologize because I'm not familiar with with yourself. Duo, yes.
That's right. We're duo. And look, dealing with people is never easy. It doesn't matter if you're just on the street or up there, dealing with. And I'm like pointing up to like whatever that like the huge, the crown abundant, right?
Mhm.
And I'm like, it's all the same.
Okay.
It's always difficult.
She smiles at that and is like, I like you think there's a difference between dealing with, I don't know, clerk at the local Chick-fil-A's or dealing with alien invaders. But I like your attitude,
And I think when she mentions that, I think Duo steps back and is like, "Whoa, look, I'll go deal with the alien shit, but I'm not going into Chick-fil-A."
I think Infinite Violet realizes what she said. It's like, look, when you're hungry and desperate, you're hungry and desperate. Okay, like I it's not like I can get
under her breath, she's like, "I'm never that desperate."
God. And it's like, well, okay, we can debate this later, but for now, I do just want to make sure that everyone's ready. Like, I've traversed a lot of dimensions. I don't want to. Well, it's not a brag, but it's the things you kind of see around there. It can't. Well, actually, why am I telling you this? You're a superhero. You've done crazy stuff as well. I
think this whole time, like, we're just seeing, she's talking to Duo, but like Duo just looks like Paula, right? Like, I mean, she's got like jeans and a t-shirt and, her hair's kind of like disheveled. She doesn't look like a superhero, but I think it's at that point when, she like reaches out she opens her hand and she's holding like the weird, like alien slug thing. And, we see it kind of glow for a second and like Duo forms, right? And this thing kind of like, and it almost looks like if you're going to go tech, like movie tech, it looks like the whole nanite thing, like a little bit of that, but like more slimy, right? And it just totally kind of like takes over and now they look like superhero stuff, right? So like I think up to that point, the audience is totally like, who is this person? Like, why is this person going to get into this shit? They don't know what they're doing. But
yeah, I think when you pull out the slug, Infinite Violet kind of eyes and eyebrow, Raises an eyebrow. Eyes an eyebrow. And but when you do your slime tech, and we see Duo for the first time, she's like, "Huh, fascinating. You know, I've seen some of those slugs in my adventure before. Not that small and compliant. They usually try to eat me. But that's interesting, and that's honestly that's pretty cool." And as almost as response,
yeah.
go on. No, go on.
I think Saul like definitely goes through with a little bit of like mind link over to Infinite Violet, and it's not like reading minds; it's just almost like talking to Infinite Violet through, through this kind of like empathetic link that Paula has, right? And I think is like, excuse me, like like a little bit of that attitude, like we don't eat, like I don't know what you're blaming my people for, but that's not us, right?
I think Red Side, you feel free to jump in at any time. But yeah, we're
Well,
finding out
it seems that when you have your mind back, you're pretty much ready to fall on old habits of judging people.
Yeah, she kind of is, isn't she? I think yeah, I would say that Infinite Violet, like she was about to flare up, flame on, purple on, violet on, kind of like as almost to show off as well to Duo. But when um, she is Regicide, she almost does by instinct, and she's like, and what's she gonna say? I think she gonna flares up, and she wants to say something like mean and that's all, but you saved her life, so she's kind of like going to stand there and just says, "In this line of work, you have to follow your gut most of the time, and I'm not gonna apologize for following my instincts, especially with the likes of the Dread Queen." And she turns to look at you.
No, the instincts are fine, and honestly, I don't blame you for having them, but you know, there's a lot to be said about learning from our mistakes. And while we are thinking with our gut, someone is putting a mind controlling tiara in our head.
I think Infinite is like, yes, and learning from mistakes is really the only reason why I'm tolerating your presence here. Save my life. That's worth looking over stuff for now. But you, whatever name you want to call yourself, you're always, and she kind of turns to you. She almost kind of like, she's not turning away from Duo, but she's just like looking at you. It's like, you, my dear, are an unexploded bomb to the rest of us. And the thing about where you came from is that that's something you have to work against for for the rest of your life. I'm just here to make sure you keep working on it.
Also, at least now you believe that I am not bound to my genes or parentage. She raises an eyebrow.
I think, by the way, like as this conversation is happening, there's little words that get sent to the different people. Like this is just a side effect of Duo being in a conversation. So like when she said, like whatever you want to call yourself, there's a little bit of like a now, you know what their name is. There's like just little, like it's almost like a psychologist in the background being like kind of like a middle person, when she says like, oh, an exploded bomb, it's kind of like, but isn't that just like potential? like little things that try to like smooth it over, and it doesn't always come across like you still hear all the vitriol going back and forth, but
Yeah, and I think, oh man, yeah, therapy slug, love that. I think when you say that, when you say that, I think Violet, you can't see from the visor, but she also raised an eyebrow, and she's like, well, you've shown growth, so I'll just make sure. So that's all I want to see. Sure, run away from your originator as far as you can, but you're gonna have to work on it because no one escapes the Dread Queen this easily. I mean, I'm sure I'm about to get repercussions, and you will as well. So if you want to keep running, do so with all your heart. Otherwise, you're going to be a problem. And I'm using my influence on you. So all adults have influence over teenagers. So, and what influence can do is that when the person who has influence over you is telling you your place, who you are, or how the world works, you either accept or reject their influence. And I think what she's doing here is she is shifting your superior down and your savior up.
So, I kind of want that.
That means I have to accept what she said.
But the point is that she's kind of an ass. So, well, I can never lose. She never loses influence on me because she's on my extras.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So,
you have to be a 3+ to reject their influence.
Yeah. So I don't think I even can anyway.
Oh no! Well, that's you're gonna have to accept that, I guess. But I mean, that doesn't mean you can't try and say anything. It's not, have a quip ready to go.
Okay, so save it up, superior down.
Yeah.
She says that the side just scoffs. You think I have the luxury to run away? Run away is just going to. You know how she is. You can escape across dimensions and she'll follow you. The difference of running away is that when she comes after the people, after the city, after the things you care about, you are not there to defend them. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here, and I'm going to face her head on. And I count that I can learn by example from you.
Yeah, I think she kind of smiles at that, but it's definitely like I'm trying to keep control of the situation, because that kind of smile, as she's like, well then I hope to provide an example in the fight to come. So the two of you better be ready. And she kind of stalks off. Yeah, adults are idiots, aren't they? You two are alone for the moment. Do you want to say anything? Does Zul want to provide some therapy?
I think Duo just walks over and puts their hand on their shoulder. That's it. No words needed.
That's a move, actually. Comfort or support.
Oh, sure. Let's do that.
So when you comfort or support someone, roll plus mundane.
That's my shit, mundane. Where's this little room thing? There it is. Let me open that. And I am green on this sheet. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm gonna steal freak. Oh, I'll grab the freak dice. Reroll. Ooh, that's a 5, but +2 is a 7.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
7 to 9.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, on a hit, they hear you. So they have a choice. They can mark potential, clear condition, or shift labels if they open up to you. So it's actually their choice. So whatever you're doing, they're hearing you.
I mean, I think there's just maybe, that's coming off like that frustration and kind of like the misunderstanding and anger and like, just the lashing out, right? All that's coming out, and, the indignity and whatever. So, I mean, for me, it's just a matter of just seeing that and just walking over and putting a hand like, hey, you're supported. Hey, we're here. Like, it's, just that. Like, you're not on your own.
Regicide, how do you feel?
She kind of wants to snap back immediately because of the way that, for once, Infinity Violet was being kind of not horrible to someone. And then she kind of goes, it's not worth it. And she says, I'm Cassie. I don't think we have been properly introduced.
And, when Duo introduces themselves, she usually does it actually as a two-part. She's like, I'm Paula, and this, and she points at like her body, like the suit. This is Tsul. And we're happy to meet you.
Yeah. Do your people have relationships with the Tangee? Are you coming to assist us?
And I think Tsul answers this, and maybe you can always you can hear when Tsul answers because it's like a little bit subliminal and it's a slightly different voice. But Tsul's like, no, I've been lost for my people for some time. I don't know where they are. That's another day. But I'm here.
Well, we are thankful for having you here. We have been fighting. We always been in the defensive since this thing started, and we finally have a chance to turn the tables now. We're gonna need everyone that we can get. I'm sure me and the others, we appreciate everything that you can do.
Yeah, and I think that's just answered with like kind of like the, hand touching type stuff, like not verbally.
All right. Which one did you pick, Regicide? Do you mark potential, clear condition, or shift
I'm
labels?
going to mark potential so that I can get a move.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to get a move from the Reformed, maybe. I'm liking the move to call out heroes on their bullshit. I think it might be useful this session.
Maybe. All right. Turn. Where are you preparing for this?
Where am I? I feel like it would be good to check in on my friends. They gotta be in just a footnote on my character history so far.
All right.
Let me see if I can't clear conditions between sessions, right? I only cleared them through the fiction.
No, yeah, true to fiction. Unless it's been enough time, but it's not been enough time. It's maybe a day since previous session.
Yeah, so I'm still angry. I'm still very much angry. And
so you want to talk to Ash?
Nah, I feel like it would be like it's the last session. I'm not gonna build a whole new character at this point. Let's just go with Agent Fumero, which we already know, and she's part of the whole deal.
Okay, I think Agent Fumero. All right, tell me where do you find her?
I think she's at their base, wherever that is at this point, because they have a lot of things to do. Not the heroes are free. They're probably organizing their own part in this whole attack that we're gonna perform.
Yeah, I think what actually happened is they have taken over your derelict bowling alley, and is using it as the base. So you kind of find her. She's talking to some folks at the where you rent your shoes, and she's talking to Iron Turtle, and she's just like rapid fast going. All right, so we need you in position here while Golden Development is going to take out the. Is that cool? All right, do you get that? And Iron Turtle's like, yes, I understand. Don't worry, Agent Fumero. I will be. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Thanks. And
I like how she's about to like hang up each time, and he just starts talking. It's like,
yeah, yeah. It's like, are you aware? And when she sees you, she's like, all right, you've got your objectives, Iron Turtle. Thanks very much. Well, I'll ask you more if any more clarifications. And she turns to you, Turn, and she's like, I hope you're way more calm than me right now, Renato. Just a bit more.
And he's just like, you see like sparks of pink magic crackling over his skin by how upset he is at this point. And he's like, well, newsflash, Melissa, I'm not calm at all. They said they're going to execute the guy. We're just going to sit around here making phone calls to Iron Turtle. Iron Turtle, you could have texted him. He's better with his thumbs than he is with that stupid big mouth of his.
Okay, first of all, he's kind of mutated. He can't use a phone properly, and we don't have the resources for those talk and tap types of right now. We're kind of very busy. And second of all, Renato, no one's gonna help Freak if no one here is calm as hell, and you need to be calm as hell as well, because I'm not right now. And if I'm not and you're not, then we might as well just give up, you know?
Don't give me that bullshit. You're in charge here. You're supposed to make me feel better. Why are all the adults so incompetent? Why do we have to do everything around here? Why do we have to fly to that country in the middle of nowhere and go face to face with Regicide's crazy ass mother to rescue these assholes who can't even talk on the phone? Have you seen Prism? Have you seen the green one walking down the street? She's ridiculous. She's pathetic. What kind of bullshit city is this?
Well, if it's such a bullshit city, Renato, then maybe you should just go if you're not going to be helpful. Because you know what? Those people are ridiculous. Those people are nonsensical. Yes, most of those people are assholes. But you know what they all have in common? They all want to help. They all want to do this and get this done and get the Tangee out and save Freak. And you're just going to be here bitching and complaining about everything else that you might as well not help.
And I think
she's gonna use her influence on you as well.
Okay.
What's she gonna do? Let me see what you got. She is. Oh, let's make some of your labels complete opposites. She's bringing your danger up and your savior down because she thinks that you're not gonna be helping much. You're just gonna be chaotic. So.
Well, we know Renato. He's not gonna take it.
You'll never take it.
I'll never take it. Nobody influences me.
Okay, so just roll then. No modifiers.
The dice usually help me on these ones, but I'm feeling like they will let me down. Oh, I called it. It's a 5.
All right. So what happens is I'll take first mark potential.
Words.
Yeah, their words hit you hard. Mark a condition, and I'll adjust your labels. So, all right, I'll just adjust them right now. You're now -2 at saving, so don't try and save people. Don't try and use defend.
Wait, you're making me more dangerous?
Yes, because that's what she thinks you are. See, this is not about this is not about what's statistically better. It is what she thinks you are, and she thinks you're going to be chaotic and dangerous, and you're not going to be good at saving people.
I thought she was going to make me better. Thank you, Melissa.
Okay. All right. Well, you mark potential as well, so there you go. Easy miss.
Yeah, I'll get that in a second. But what I'm gonna check is guilty because I'm gonna snap at her. I'm gonna unleash some magic on her. I think it just bubbles up inside him to hear her talk to him like this, and the surge of magic blasts out of his hands and knocks her back against the wall. It's not life-threatening at all. His magic was not built for that. But it feels like a monster after this. This is the person who treats him the nicest around here. And he just teleports out of there after doing that.
Ooh, we won't even let her get the last word in. Okay.
No, because he's so embarrassed that he did that.
There you go. All right, we'll leave it there for now, and then we'll go back to you. I want to get through like at least because I want to ask. Go on.
Just, I'm getting my moment of truth out of this, which is making the hard decisions.
All right.
And I think turn is gonna go in a spiral of nobody gets me, not even the people on my side. So I'm just gonna be a monster and solve this thing by myself, which is probably gonna explode right on his face.
Well, okay. Well, the thing is, a moment of truth. That's like a. I'll just explain for those who haven't played because it's a hard thing to do, especially. Moment of truth basically is kind of like a get out of jail free card. You can only use it once ever unless you take an advance later on. But it basically you take narrative control of everything basically when you use your moment of truth. But first you read it out and then you do as it says, and you kind of have control over the fiction then and how you do it. Of course, there's gonna be consequences for how you do it, as it says in a moment of truth. It's a big thing. You can base, you know what, turn. You can actually solve all this with your moment of truth. So
I don't want to
fun.
go that far. Like I don't want to hog the spotlight. I'm just picking something up on the floor. That's why I'm really.
Okay.
I just want to get at this crucial junction and kill someone with my illusions out of nowhere.
Okay. All right. So I think we have time for 2 more scenes to make it at least to the half-hour mark. 2 more short scenes, I'd say. I was gonna ask Loki if you have anything else beyond doing that. If you want to reunite with some old teammates, or you want to meet the new one, or
I'm just gonna. Well, I was gonna like maybe do some hacking, but like trying to set up some sort of security backdoor.
all right. Yeah, like preparing for an mission is probably a good idea.
If somebody wants to be coming, to come in and bug me while I'm doing that, that's fine.
Everyone want to bug Loki while he's busy, or yeah, I was gonna say mission. What mission?
I've got a thought. Do we want to like I don't think it's duo exactly, but maybe it's just Tool. And like maybe Loki doesn't even really see Tool there. Like they're almost like it almost feels like Loki's kind of talking to himself maybe, but in fact we find at the end that he's kind of having this conversation with this other creature right behind him who's kind of like watching what he's doing. Like, why don't you tell me what the scene looks like, and then maybe I'll ask you 1 or 2 questions, and you can kind of respond to it however you want.
So,
like, where's this happening, by the way? Is this like a, yeah, do you have like a special hideout thing with all this equipment or whatever?
I think, Loki has like his own sort of tech station set up in the bowling alley. I think it's probably like the actual, where the seats and stuff in front of one of the bowling lanes is. He's got like screens and stuff, and control panels set up across the, the lane end sort of bit. And he's just sort of messing with AR holographic display type things.
And maybe there's it's almost like and you're trying to create what, like, or maybe the question is, what are you looking for?
I'm trying to make sense of the program, the language that's used in the Tangee's computer system. It's unfamiliar to me.
and maybe what do you think is the small hint that gets you a little bit on track? Like what is the language familiar to that you might understand?
Yeah, I'm trying. What's a very some sort of very pictographic language, like
maybe like kind of like a Mayan thing, or like a hieroglyphic thing or something like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe you're sitting there like trying to figure it out, and the comment that comes up, and I think the way the scene looks is like, you're sitting there doing a thing, and then you hear kind of that question, right? Which is, what are you looking for? And then you kind of start responding almost out loud, right? And you're frustrated, right? Because you're like, I can't figure out this language, right? And then it's like, well, I mean, it looks a little bit like, and there's like some comments, like some language maybe you haven't even heard of, and you're like, what? And then it's like, well, maybe like Mayan or something. And like I think you quickly like look up some stuff and see, like there's like this whole little alphabets and other things, and or not alphabets, and like you're kind of having this conversation, it looks like with yourself, right? And then maybe toward the end of that scene, like we see Saul in the background, but they just kind of like slug away, right? Like maybe you're not even realizing that you've had this conversation. It almost just feels like you've been talking to yourself the whole time.
It's not unusual.
Oh, is this like assisting in a role or something?
Kind of, yeah. Well, the thing is, to assist, you spend something called team, and I put the marker in at the character sheet. So the time has passed, or at a session, I clear all the team that's left over, and you start with one team. You spend that to add a +1 to a roll. You don't have to roll for it. And that's to gain team, you have to enter battle with a dangerous foe, or there's some moves that lets you add team if you do it right. But yeah, you'll be spending that one team. It's a pool. That's the thing. Everyone takes from team. So you totally can, but you'll be spending that one team.
No, that's cool. I mean, I'm cool with it just being like flavor for the scene.
All right. So Loki, what do you want to do?
So I'm gonna, having like cross-referenced the alien language with ancient Mayan sort of glyphs. I'm going to try and set up a back door so that I can be hooked into the security feeds and get give.
Okay, I think that sounds like unleashing your.
I'm looking for basically knowledge of the security setup, locks, codes, passwords, etc.
Okay, that sounds like unleashing your powers, because if you get this, then you will just have those, so you'll get into the system. Like I'm not saying like I'm not gonna have to ask a question like what specifically you want, because you want codes and whatnot. That is that one space there. So yeah, that's unleashing your powers. It feels like when you extend your abilities, which is the case, your genius mind and hacking stuff to overcome an obstacle, reshape your environment, or extend your senses. You roll plus freak.
I rolled an 11.
Well, and so on the hit you do it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you've got it. So let's see. So you said specifically security setup, like locks, codes, passwords, etc. Okay, so yeah, you got their security, and what you see here is kind of the specific information you get is that yes, those 4 wedges surrounding the main kind of like maybe the bridge, they are that basically essentially battle platforms. They're kind of deterred, and they're slowly in a circle. Not slowly, but like they're almost moving. You can see them revving up, and there's a point where they're just gonna get really fast and you're not able to get through. What you find in the setup is kind of like the path to take, as in the trajectory you need to get through the battle platform, the platforms to go straight to the bridge. And you see that most of their military is concentrated on stopping people from getting to the bridge. The bridge itself, there is a small detachment of soldiers, and right at the top of the bridge, because they're not going to make it easy for you, right on top of the bridge, you find is the highest concentration of security, and that's where you think Freak is at the top. So I'll give you that anyway. And yeah, you have kind of like you create a backdoor so you can just open up like any locks that you have. So cool. So check that. I think do you have a scene you want to set up, or you think you've talked enough? Who have you not talked to yet? You've not talked to Turn. Do you want to talk to Turn? I don't think Turn wants to talk to anyone right now. You have an idea, or if not, I'll just go through the checklist and then we'll take a break. Duo? All right, cool. I'll just go through the checklist. Location of the target, Crown Abundant. You got it. Surveillance of location. The thing is, actually, some of these things you can get by calling in favors with the 3 organizations. So you got Dagger, Cloaks, and Aegis. You've not been calling many favors, so you can totally do that. So surveillance, just call in either one of those. For anything that's unfilled. There's some stuff that I've filled for you because I figured with all the resources you have, they'll be fine. Like knowledge security setup, that's filled. Transportation to and from, Aegis is going to supply that. I think they've they've stolen a Tangee skiff. I can totally do that. For those who don't know, Tangee skiffs are basically like a miniaturized Jabba sail barge. So it should be fine. Diversion, any superhero combination can do that. I think it'll be fine. Specialized device to bypass a particular security measure. If you want that, have that, sure. Or weapon or weapons necessary to handle particular security measures. Again, you can have those, just call in favors. Any one of those, again. If you have like ideas of where to get them, and I'm fine with that. Because that's the thing. You all are kind of on a position of strength because your resources have been used up as much as I would have liked, but that's good for you.
I mean, Regicide always has a talent to getting weapons, so maybe we can try that again.
Yeah, actually, I want to see that roll. All the best stuff. Yeah. So are you accessing a hero or a villain cache?
Well, because we still have not seen a villain this session, and they've been working, so she decides that she's going to target the villain that has been working with the Tangee, because she figured, well, they must have some way to communicate, some way to fly in and out of their control zones, maybe some alien tech. And now that the heroes are back, they're probably laying low, so they had to leave some stuff behind. So I'm going to go after the lair of the Scarlet Crusader, which is this one is actually, despite the name, he's not someone like Enigma, which is basically someone that is an activist of some sort with an extra edge of flair. No, this one is someone that wants to impose properness, and he has no qualms about targeting civilians, villains, zeros, whatever. And if not fight their considerable arsenal and them seeming apparently indestructible behind their scarlet armor, they will, although otherwise have already been crushed by everyone else. So
yeah, and unlike Enigma, Scarlet Crusader is a Stephen Sondheim fan.
Yes,
probably.
That is a great difference.
All right, so roll plus
10.
nature.
10.
You got a 10. Okay.
Got a 10.
On a hit, you find a tool or intel useful to your situation. The GM will detail. We can do what we did before, and like you're looking for weapons. Each of you get a weapon. Then you get a weapon. You get a weapon. Like you got a 10. So each of you, tell me what you find. Sure, you have an idea. We're just like, oh my god, you need a jetpack for? You can teleport.
Okay, an idea that I want for sure is that I want a Scarlet Shield, because I remember that the last time that they fought the Iron Turtle, they managed to break his shield. So I'm pretty sure that he got a reinforcement made from Tangee Tech, and I go straight for that. So I get this nice energy bouncing protective shield.
All right. You really want a jetpack turn?
Nah, I'm thinking. I'm thinking of something like an endurance amulet or something like that. Because I mentioned that like Turn isn't that athletic, and I'm thinking something that can get tired for you. It's like it's a living creature trapped in a crystal, and as you get tired, the crystal just dies eventually. But you get like a solid half hour of like Olympic level disposition.
You realize you're about to team up with someone who has a symbiotic bond with a small creature.
Sure, but I mean, if this is like some crystalline weird creature thing, like
Let's
maybe
not-
even my creature's like, that's just a mineral.
Let's not get into the ethics of what doesn't constitute as consciousness. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. Loki, do you get something or?
I think Loki gets a sort of staff that's got a blaster on it. Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. Blaster staffs are cool. We might see one of those pop up later on. Who knows? Duo, what do you?
I think 100% like Turn looks at this like jetpack thing and like kind of like tosses it aside, like, why would you need that? I'm a superhero, right? And like moves on to the next thing. And I think we see Paula in the background, and she like looks down and she's like, and she like picks it up and obviously feels a little bit like kind of not she's not necessarily in her element. You can see sometimes when she's like, okay, I'm not really a superhero. And so she takes that jetpack and kind of like embarrassingly takes it, because I don't think she has any ability to, like, Duo doesn't have the ability to fly.
That might actually be handy since you're all going up into the air. well, Loki can fly. We've established that. They've got their suit. Speaking of which, yeah, you got your equipment, your stuff from that. I think it's been a day. I don't think you have time to relinquish that. So, well, but then again, Regicide, you let go of your thing, right? Your Sonic Beast. But Turn, you totally can still have your forehead crystal laser. Sure.
I have a crystal thing though. I just like crystals.
Yeah, what is up with you and crystals? Okay, I think. All right, so that checks off that. I think we're kind of good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, yeah, you're grand. You kind of got the minimum upper limit of having the best case scenario. If you got any more than that, it. I don't know how more I can help you. So we'll take a 5-minute break then, and I'm gonna like hard frame the start of this, and then then you tell me how you're all gonna get there, and then we'll do some rolls to approach, and we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how y'all go. So 5 minutes. BRB. All right, we're here. We're all here. Okay, so I'm gonna abstract kind of like the briefing before the what's gonna happen. Basically, people are assigned their roles, and Agent Romero delivers this with like regret. And it's not like a big briefing. It's when like she just comes up to each person to tell them what's going to happen, and then just says, you all sort out your own plans from there. Because again, she didn't want the one big meeting where everyone's in one place. And it's like that's a target. So what you all hear is that surprise, surprise, the four of you, the three of you are probably not surprised. They're not surprised that you put together a team because you all work together. Duo, I think Agent Ferrer says that she's assigning you to them because, well, she kind of like she says, you got a good track record of folding people into their team, and think she's kind of read your files and knows what you kind of done, and she's kind of like, she feels she can trust you. So don't betray that trust. I'm just saying. So you're folding in the four of you, and you've also two other superheroes have been assigned with you. Not actually decided which ones. I mean, it's easy to say Infinite Violet, but I think even Agent Romero knows that's a recipe. That's a recipe for her explosive cocktails. Let's see. Who she assigned with? She'll assign, because the thing is, you four and the other two. Yeah, Violet. Yeah, Violet's totally requested, but no, she's in the diversion team because you two, your team, you and the other two superheroes have been assigned. You are the strike team because you're the ones going in. Because even Agent Ferrer says to each of you, at least the three of you specifically, who have been here before, just half grudgingly, that the three of you have the most experience in taking on the Tangee and winning. So she doesn't have a choice. And when she says it to you, turn. It's a very curt. Here's what you do. Here's where you are now. And then before you can even say anything, she just walks off. And to the other three of you, she says, "Keep an eye out for Turn. There, I trust that he'll do what's right in the end, but he might need help getting there. So watch out." And yeah, Violet totally requested, but Agent Romero's not an idiot. She knows why. So yeah, I think we're just gonna smash cut to this skiff. You're in the inside of kind of like this rickety Tangee skiff as it's kind of headed into the Crown Abundant. So there's the four of you, and let's see. I want to give you like competent people, not weirdos. The Iron Turtle's not there, sadly. He's too important to the diversion team because once he gets people's attention, he's hard to dislodge. We'll say, God, I kind of want to add Prism there because she might be fun to. Yeah, and she'll be helpful. Yeah, so Prism is there, and I think Golden Development is there. I think they insisted because they think they make them look. They care so much for their city, so so I think while the ship's being piloted, I'm gonna say maybe who's piloting the ship. I think he's piloting the ship. They're piloting the ship because they have a super vehicle, the Local Pride, which is your getaway ship as well. So while they're piloting, they're actually giving a speech. They're giving a stump speech while they're on the ship. It's like, all right, folks, we are about to go into the belly of the beast, the deep, dark underground from which we might not spring from intact. But I've been assured, and with that assurance, I know that all of you will perform to the letter. All of you will do what's right and necessary to rid of this blight that has taken our city. This is Prospect City, and it is a city that has been dumped on for decades, most unfairly. It is a city of hardworking, prosperous citizens. In fact, so prosperous, it's in the name. And You young heroes are here to represent that city and restore it to its place as a shining city in the hill. And I'm confident that all of you, and he's gonna keep doing this. Prism, when they're all one instead of seven, they're kind of like they're just they're very quiet. They're almost just like they're not trying, but they're giving off that like sort of serene ninja. I'm just waiting for it all to kick off before bad things can happen. Sort of look. Oh, how are you all feeling? What are you all doing as you're kind of moving towards the Tangee?
I mean, Regicide is feeling a little queasy because, as far as everyone is concerned, oh, they are so experienced with the Tangee, but she's not second guessing herself. She's just thinking, oh, we only did so well because the Dread Queen was on my side, and now I don't have the support of Mother. Who knows if even our earlier achievements were not because of her? Can I really do this by myself? I don't really have the fancy powers to handle this. Oh my god, it's going to go so bad.
I think Duo is standing not far away, and just before that scene, Saul came over and is kind of like enveloped Paula, so the two of them are there, and that's when Paula can kind of hear a little bit of what Regicide is saying, right? Or kind of thinking just like a little bit. There's like you catch little pieces of it, and so Duo is kind of talking to themselves and is like, it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be nervous. Like very quietly, right? But like I think kind of in response to that.
I think Turn has like headphones on, and he still feels shitty about the way he snapped at Agent Romero, and he's just like focused on the mission. Don't worry about anything else. Just do what needs to be done. Just do the thing so you don't have to deal with your feelings. He's just pushing it all down, just shoving all those feelings down.
I think Loki is nervously like basically just rechecking, just doing a suit diagnostic in his his suit and his equipment over and over again, just to make sure that everything's fine and in working order.
I think like it's kind of rad to see all three of you do your different things. I think Duo is going to borrow from each of those, right? Is telling themselves like, it's okay to be nervous. Then there's the emotion pushing down. And then there's kind of like that, okay, steady yourself, forget about that stuff. And then the equipment thing, all of a sudden, like Duo's has this jetpack that they've never used before. So they're looking down, they're like, oh yeah. And then they're like turning it on and whatever. So I think it's just like from person to person, just borrowing little pieces of each of them.
Oh, you poor dears. You poor dears. Okay, so I think golden development is the thing with golden development is that every time you think they're wrapping up their speech, they're not. They launch into another paragraph, and just as about to say like they're about to say something like, we may have trouble with crime, we might have trouble with poverty, with neighborhoods like Shoreline, but, and then the skiff just starts rocking. And I think, and Golden Vim's like, all right, brace yourselves. And they're going to follow. Now, thankfully, someone managed to figure out that, yeah, the way to get in. So they're going to follow the route you found out, Loki. Which is, so that means like there's a few moments where things just rock. And the thing is, there's a Tangee skiff, so there's still some equipment and some monitors, so you can see on the outside, kind of like as the skiff is going through like this wind tunnel in between these battle platforms, are slowly gaining height, and then you kind of hear I think there's also another like screen showing like this facility they have down there that's controlling this tether, and this tether is the shield that was protecting the ship. But because of the Tangee skiff and the fact that now when you see the tether is being attacked by the other superheroes, like there's Iron Turtle just like as everyone else makes their assault. There's a bit of magma fist action. Maybe you see like even in distance like a big flare of purple energy. So I'm not gonna make you roll to get clear of the battle platforms because you found that out. That's grand. So but then you're coming up to this bridge, and the thing is, it is just a weird what's that called? A parallelogram of a building. It's like a slanted brick, and you see like there are like holes where the other battle platforms attached to, and you're coming up to like the entrance, and then you kind of hear suddenly alarms blaring inside your skiff as like warning, warning, unidentified security systems detected. And you see like the entrance, you see kind of like the loading bay doors, and you start kind of like turning like golden, and suddenly you see out of it, pressing out of the door, is our a row of human faces. Not a row, like a tapestry of human faces. It's all the same face, in the face that Loki and Regicide have seen before, way back at the first session. And it's it's like a I've described her face like it's this human face, but it's made out of like segmented golden plates. But the thing is, the movement is so realistic. It doesn't feel like a robot speaking. It feels like a human turned into gold speaking. But this time, Eris isn't speaking. Instead, Eris is screaming as all those faces start opening their mouths and start shooting at the lot of you as you kind of make your approach. What do you do?
Whoa! I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and like jam the Eris's systems, from a suit.
All right. Oh yeah, you're being confronted by your shame right now. So you can either mark if you can either mark a condition or shift superior down and danger up. Either.
I will mark a condition. It's gonna be guilty.
Okay. Oh, you poor dear. So you're trying to communicate to her or hack her?
Yeah. Okay. Well, sorry. I'm trying to basically calm her down, or try and.
Okay, so what's gonna happen is, I give you two choices. One is you can unleash your powers to do that, because that's something you can do, or maybe even comfort or support her. I don't know, since you're trying to calm her down, or you can use a gadget because you're always prepared. You can use a gadget and you can roll superior with that.
I'll go with use a gadget.
All right, so you must have something prepared in case you ever come across Eris, right? All right, so what does the gadget do? It's just to communicate with her, or does it do something?
It's key to like the back doors that I had in Eris's program when I created her. So I'm just like and it's just like a private channel, and I'm just like sort of like trying to send the equivalent of like calming waves through the connection, because like she appears to be in some kind of distress right now.
Actually, before you make this roll, there's a rule here for when you come across when you enter battle against a dangerous foe as a team. The thing is, this can happen more than once in a session. So here's what's gonna happen. Who's the leader right now? Well, first off, I'm gonna add 2 to the team pool, so you're not up to 3. Who will be considered the leader right now? At
I
least in
think
this
Loki on this precise situation because it's
Yeah.
directly it's their child.
Poor Loki. Okay, so go back to the rules. If the leader has influence over every teammate, add another team.
I
Does
do.
Loki? Huh. Well, fancy that.
Yeah, I even have duo. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you're up to 4 team. If everyone has the same purpose in the fight, add another team. What's everyone's purpose here? Get in or?
Right now, I think we're trying to get into the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, this is a dangerous foe, but I'm not gonna make her like so dangerous that she becomes a beef wall. I think you'll get through this fairly fine. But like, yeah, I think everyone's agreed. Yeah, it's to get in, right? Because there are more important things, and you have to get through Loki's shame. I'm not saying I'm giving all this team so you can use it later, but next bit. If any team member mistrusts the leader or the team, remove a team. And team lowercase for the former, team higher case for the latter. So no one mistrusts Loki. Okay. Yeah, Loki's kind of turned out to be a really nice heroic figure, so that's cool. It's very cool. Is your team ill-prepared or off-balance? Nah. You didn't expect Ares, but everything else, you're all kind of prepared for, right? Yeah. Yeah, and Loki's prepared for Ares as well.
I'm always prepared for Eris. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So okay. So back to the roll. You're gonna roll plus superior. See if your gadget does the thing.
Okay. Plus superior is at 1 right now. So let's see.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, that's wow. Okay. Mark potential. So what's gonna happen is you try to connect to Eris, and I think there's a feedback whine through your gadget that everyone in the skiff hears, and it's Eris's voice screaming, just in pain. Not from the gadget though. I think you can tell that the pain is coming from something else. There's something shackling her to this place. But when you try to interface her with the gadget, you hear her start screaming, I knew it. You always have something over me, right, Kevin? You always have something against me.
I'm trying to help you right now.
I think she can't hear you because she's also saying this and screaming at the same time, which is a lot. So what's gonna happen is that the lasers keep going, and Golden Venoms like, all right, we have to find another way. As they move the skiff and kind of start moving away from lasers. But the thing is, as he's rising up to the cylinder, the faces follow along the wall. They're kind of moving up the wall as they start pouring in all that stuff. What do you do?
I mean, at this point, Regicide curses, God damn it, why are you letting this happen to Ares? And she tries to use a technological control to try to release Ares, much on the same way that she released Socket.
Oh, okay. So that sounds like unleashing your powers, yes? Yeah, so roll plus freak. Sorry, freak.
Then.
All right, so on a hit, yeah, you do it. And then that's it. You do it. So, what are you trying to do? You're trying to release her, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to release it from being prisoner by the Tangee.
Okay, so this works out. so once you do it, all of the faces on the wall on the side of the bridge freeze in mid scream as but the screaming inside the skiff doesn't stop, and the talking continues. Then and she's saying, "The Tangee are relentless. The Tangee are willing to do anything. The Tangee are in me right now, puppeting me, controlling me. The Tangee will kill to save you all. The Tangee," and she's gonna keep babbling as kind of Golden Development's like, yeah, almost trying to speak over the screaming. It's like, all right, thanks kids, let's try and keep with the plan. As you enter the codes that Loki got, and the blast door opens, and still with Eris faces on it, as they kind of hide away, and you kind of enter the, I guess, the loading bay, and you all come out of the skiff. How's everyone? How's everyone feeling after that?
So, can I tell if there's like a central, control system or something that would be shackling Eris?
It's not here at this loading bay. It's yeah, but I think Regicide can probably tell you this, because it's a 10. They sense that whatever is shackling Eris is at the top. It's at the bridge. General Curran is not leaving anything for anyone to just randomly find.
Okay, fine. That's where we're going anyway.
Okay. I think Golden Development's like, okay, no, they're coming with you as well. Like I said, this ship, the Tangee are relentless, but they're arrogant. They put all their stuff in their battle platforms. So all this is kind of automated, and you find the elevator up all the way up to the bridge again. We'll just kind of cut straight to it, and there's a moment. You're all in this elevator, the 6 of you, just going up. And think Golden Development's like, well, the Tangee certainly think highly of themselves. They're just gonna leave this open, and Prism's kind of biting their finger, and they're like, well, they're supremely confident for a reason. And like, she's gonna, her eyes darting. It's almost like she wants to split up right now so she can offload her emotions to her other selves. But you're in an elevator, so it's not gonna happen.
So is it like an awkward elevator ride where it's just the 6 of us?
Yeah. Yeah, if you play the first Mass Effect, it is like that, where it's just a lot of awkward elevator rides. And
yeah, loves an awkward silence. He's gonna go right for the sweet spot. He says like, so that was freaky, huh? You want to tell us about your golden friend over there, Loki? I don't think you mentioned that you made like this tortured video game that keeps going around screaming at you.
God damn it, turd.
She's really not that tortured.
Oh, that's good to know.
They've done something too earlier. They've imprisoned her. She's difficult most of the time, but this isn't her. This is they're driving her insane, more or less.
But like, what is her like? Why did you make her fur?
To help mankind avoid disasters, to help us foresee disasters and figure out solutions to world problems.
And now she's firing lasers and screaming at us.
Well, from a certain point of view, humanity is the problem.
Wow, don't say that too loud in front of the heroes. They might lock you up.
I said from a certain point of view. I didn't say mine.
I'm not with him.
I have a question. The Eris is like how what is Eris something that we can assess in a sense? Like
Yes, but yeah, you can totally assess her, but she's not in your vicinity at the moment. So I don't know if you can do it right now. Like,
I'm wondering more like if during that that kind of traumatic event, as we were like coming in and all that stuff was going on, whether or not it was like, is Eris enough of a personality where I could have tried to reach out and figure something out about?
yeah. Eris as a character is a person, definitely a person.
Right.
You could have.
And I don't need to. I mean, I can either, that's one way to do it, is like for me to have done that then, as we were coming in, because I don't think I was really doing anything, or I could just wait until.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
I don't mind waiting. It's like we just had this conversation, so I'm just paying attention.
Okay. Were you gonna interject actually while turns kind of like giving Loki shit as Turn is wont to do?
Nah, just watching the scene.
I think Prism actually speaks up because she's biting her fingers. Like, oh, don't worry, I know what it's like to go through some means thinking you can help others when you're really trying to help yourself. And she's almost kind of like looking at like she's looking down. It's kind of like, oh, so that's unanswered questions there apparently. And Gondovan's like, all right, we can pontificate on our sins for as long as we can. Let's look forward, people. You have a city to save, after all.
Well, no matter what happens, we should see that Ares is freed. I think nobody agrees that someone, a sentient being, should be kept in these conditions.
Well, this sentient being has caused problems in the past. I agree that their shackling is immoral, but I would like not a guarantee, but a promise. And they looked at you, Loki. A promise that you will endeavor to bring her to a different viewpoint, to make her see sense.
Yeah. Believe me, there's nothing I'd love more.
All right. So I think, unless anyone says anything else you want to bring up, let's just get straight to it. So the door opens, and when you walk in, it's a wide, big. It's not even a bridge. It's kind of like a viewing port. You can see a big window, just on the far end, and you can see a view of Prospect City, looking down on it, just even from where you are, and right in front of it, you can see there's a small like pedestal shooting energy up. You can see two similar ones on the other side shooting energy down, and caught in the middle of it, with their arms outstretched, legs outstretched, is Freak. As kind of the energy is got them trapped there. And in front of that, directly in front of you, is a Tangee whose back is turned to you. They've got you can see they're wearing a cape, this like shoulder cape, and let's see, they turn around, and it's a face that's familiar to everyone who's lived here in Prospect City. The past occupation, it's the one who did the announcement saying that Prospect has fallen. It is the leader. It is the commander of the Crown Abundant. They are a Philippine eagle. I'm going to put a picture there. It is General Kurin. And he looks at you all, and he says, "Humanity's champions, then." They're looking at he's looking at you, and he's tall. He's like 8'9" tall. And when he turns around, you see that he's got a half cape on. No, he's got a full cape on actually, and he's got this. I'm the Robert and Tomer will know this because I'm repeating myself because they were there yesterday's game. But no, they're a general. This is an actual general. The guy from that misspent you game was a kid, 17-year-old trying to be general. This is a proper like commander, a military figure, and they've kind of like this. It looks like a nice maroon tunic with a sash, but you can tell that it's not fabric. It's like stitched armor. That's like segmented because it's kind of like it's giving off that glint, and he's just standing there saying like, "Well then, seems humanity is prepared to walk off the cliff and take the rest of us with you." Ooh. Hold on. Louise says they want to info. Okay, all right. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I think Frank has had enough of these guys. He's listened to them a lot. Freak is right behind him. They just got out of this elevator. He's upset. He's edging for action. He's just gonna straight up teleport in front of everyone and laser shoot this chicken.
All right. So you're directly engaging a threat.
Oh yeah. I'm using the danger you gave me.
All right, roll. Go ahead.
Of course I get a 2.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Mark
I love
can mark a potential, at least.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you teleport in. But the thing, when you teleport, it's sudden. Like, this moment you appear, he has straight up punched you in the face and is sending you flying back to the group. Are you going to take a powerful blow? So you're going to roll plus conditions. Now, the thing with take a powerful blow is you want to roll a 2 on that.
Oh no, I got a 7.
Well, okay. All right. So on a 79, you're going to choose one. You lash out verbally, which is provoke a teammate to foolhardy action or take advantage of your influence to inflict a condition. You give ground, your opposition gets an opportunity, or you struggle past the pain, and you're going to mark 2 conditions.
I'm gonna get everybody in this jam. I'm gonna provoke regicide. I'm gonna say like I'm like holding my face. I have like this bruise coming up, and I just like push Reggie on the shoulder. I'm like, "Freak's right there. You're gonna listen to this chicken talk down to us, or you're gonna do something."
Look, everyone calm down. We don't have to fight. You know, we live on the universe too, so we kind of don't want it to get time quaked. The thing is, your generalship, I don't know who has given you advice, but for someone that proclaims themselves protector of reality itself, you are surely not acting like it. Is murdering teenagers how you protect the world? So basically, I'm trying to hold them to a higher moral standard.
Oh, you're using your Captain America move. that you just picked up. All right, roll plus savior. Oh, right. I'm thinking because. Well, let's see. Okay. No, that's fine. Let's see what happens.
9.
9. Okay. So, anyone want to spend it? Actually, I think you're entering entering battle against another dangerous foe. You're probably gonna get more team. So, which is fine. Which I guess is fine. When you enter battle against a dangerous foe, add 2 more. So you are now then you're now at 7 team. That's a lot of aiding and helping. Use that. Yeah, 7. Who's the leader this time? Is it Turn?
Yeah, Turn pretty much jump in. Turn is the leader.
Oh, this is gonna go so well for us.
Christ on a bike. Does the leader, if the leader has influence over every teammate, do they? No.
I don't. I never have influence over anyone.
Oh no.
You have over me, and you have
No.
over
Wait.
Duo.
No.
Turn doesn't have influence over.
No, you have over me. You even shifted my labels at the end of last session.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but you don't have one on Loki, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, everyone has the same purpose in the fight. Add another team. Don't start. Don't start.
I mean, I kind of want them to freak on their own. So
yeah, and I wanna kill every single motherfucking bird on the ship and then crash into the sea.
Do I even have to ask the other two? Duo, what's your purpose on this?
No, I think Duo wants to figure out how these people think. Like, what is it that they're really trying to do here, and how to, but at the same time, Duo's kind of like, is not the most aggressive person, right? They're not into hitting conflict straight in the face. So, they're gonna get kind of like overwhelmed by all the other stuff going on. But I think they're just they're trying to like as each thing is happening, right? Like as the general is, attacking and is able to anticipate kind of that teleportation. And as they're talking, I think they're trying to get into their head and like figure out what's going on here, right? And how to take advantage of it. I mean, it could be, that maybe peaceful negotiation is not an option, but they only know that if they can understand how this thing thinks, right?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And Loki. Well, either way, none of you are in the. Oh, go on.
Loki wants this to stop. Just wants them to stop. Let their prisoners go. Just leave.
All right. So, well,
I mean, he's going to make them do that by whatever means necessary.
All right. So no one has the same purpose. Go on.
So as far as Duo, there is a move that I've got for my sheet, which is straight up creeping, which is scoping out a person or a place, and I think that's the thing that, like Duo is kind of like assessing and watching and kind of trying to be quiet while figuring out as much as they can. So okay. I think that's the
all right. Yeah. So before we get to that, we'll go through the rest of the team mechanics here. If any team member mistrusts the leader or the team, remove a team. Everyone trust Turn.
I don't know.
If you had to ask, that's a no. So I'm taking away. Like you either trust me or don't. Come on. Oh yeah, the leader can mark a condition to stop a team being removed, but you probably have enough for now. One last thing. Is your team ill-prepared or off-balance? Yeah, no, you're not ill-prepared or off-balance. You should be fine. Okay, so so let's resolve Regicide's role first, and then we'll do straight-up creeping. So a 9. Does anyone want to bump that up to a 10? We're using the team.
I could.
Okay. All right. All right. I guess we'll leave it to a 9 then. So what's gonna happen is either they rise up to they have to meet your standard or mark a condition. And yes, villains have conditions as well.
Did Robert, did you say that you did want to bump it up?
Sorry, I just got back.
I think because when you were asking, I think Robert said like he could, but I didn't know if he wanted to or not.
Okay. Did you want to bump up Regicide's roll from a 9 to a 10? Her new move, which is no you move. Not confusing at all. Did you want to bump up from 9 to a 10 or?
What does the move do again?
Hold on, let me read it. When you demand that an NPC live up to a higher moral code, you roll plus savior. On a hit, they have to meet your standard or mark a condition. On a 10 plus, Regicide takes influence over them.
Yeah, okay, I'll bump them up, bump that up.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you do? What do you say to like use up that team to bump that up? What does Loki say? What did they
You
do?
came here claiming that you wanted to stop a superhero from this city, creating a Terran space-time, but you brought technology that would allow that to happen, and I show them the bomb that I have made. And here's the thing. I'm not going to use this. I throw it at them.
I think Golden Development Whisper's like, wait, you brought that with us? Did you tell anyone?
I throw it, but I don't arm it. It's just like I'm handing it over.
I have no doubts of the dedication of the Tangee and of its generalship, but I think you should look into your own people. We have fought them. We have found them doing terrible things. Maybe you should keep your house in order before you go breaking in other people's houses and taking their children from the nest.
I think General Kurin, you see all that, and they kind of sigh, and he's like, and they're well, as they're saying, it's kind of reach into their pocket, and they're like, again and again and again, you all refuse to see. It is all calculated. Everything is calculated. We have calculated what we can do and what we can't do. And they're pulling out this long staff as they're doing it, and they're like, we know because we all believe. We know what we're doing, and we have no room for doubt in our hearts. Have you met a single Tangee who do not know what they're doing? You talk to us of atrocities. We see only what needs to be done. It is all calculation. And they're pulling out their staff and they're pointing at you. And as they're pointing out, it's kind of like this metal is forming around it, and it forms out into this big, ridiculous sword that's on the edge of this staff, and it's pointing at you, and it's quite long. It's almost near to your face. He's gonna do something, and I'm gonna have to do this because it's part of the mechanics. Before you do that, Duo, you want to roll straight up creeping?
Sure. So
Okay,
this is roll plus mundane.
Mm-hmm.
I'll steal the freak dice. That's 6 plus 2, which is 8.
Okay, so you get to ask one of those questions.
Yeah. I'm going to say who or what here is not what they seem. And maybe it's like trying to think trying to see beyond what he's saying. Like he's saying, the general's saying all this stuff about we have a plan and when like we all know what we're doing and whatever. But like, what's the part that's being left out, or you know what I mean? Like something like that.
What's being left out is that you notice this right before it's happening, behind you, because you probably noticed it because you probably are maybe near the back of the group. These 4 chutes opening up in the ceiling, and what do you think? What you notice with the general is that no, he believes what he's saying. He is not going to be dissuaded by this easily. You're gonna have to make friends with him by beating him up. Classic superhero stuff. Unless you don't want to make friends with him because he's kind of an ass. But yeah, he is what he seems, and that's the thing with the Tangee and what he's saying. They are what they seem. They they are very upfront. Like they came here to save the world, and they believe that. They honestly believe that. They believe that they built this technology. And you probably noticed so when Loki pulls out the bomb thing. This is part of your role. You notice that it's kind of the same technology as whatever's holding Freak up there. But they are like there's no pretension here. They've come here to save the world, and you idiots are getting in the way. But the thing you notice, and you're gonna have a chance to get a drop on them because the chutes open behind you, and 4 more Tangee soldiers kind of drop in, and they kind of drop in and suddenly surround the 6 of you, and they're kind of dressed in black armor, and they have these like cruel looking like beak. Well, the thing is, you thought they looked like plague beak masks, and you realized those are their actual beaks, and they just have like goggles on, and all of them have like again all of them are equipped with like these like serrated like quills coming out of their hands, and they've surrounded you, and golden developments like golden developments it turns, and like he's kind of like shielding the 4 of you as he and golden development kind of turn and look at at him in prison, kind of turn to the 4 of them, to the 4 soldiers, and golden development's like, I think the time for negotiation is past.
How are they surrounding us?
I'm imagining this like, so your group is here, General Kurin is here, and no, you're not surrounded, but your back end is surrounded by these 4. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
We're flanked.
Yeah, you're flanked. There we go. That makes more sense. Yeah.
It's been too long since D&D land.
Yeah. I do not want to have to pull out the grid for this. No, there's no need for that. Yeah. So General Curran is like, well, if you are truly heroes, all you need to do is stand there and wait as we disassemble this person and free the world from a fate worse than death. What do you do?
You have been wrong before. If you don't listen to reason, you're gonna listen to violence. And I try to grab the one nearby and disarm them.
Ooh, okay. All right. So that sounds like directly engaging a threat. All right. So the way this works, I'm just gonna jump from whoever to whoever, and we're gonna have a rotation up. So all right, you're directly engaging one of the soldiers. Yes. All right. So roll plus danger there. What do you like? Yeah. Roll plus danger.
12.
God, maybe while you're doing well with the Tangees, the dice just really love you. Maybe. All right. So on a hit, you're gonna trade blows. On a 10 plus, you're gonna pick 2. Resist or avoid their blows. Take something from them. Create an opportunity for your allies. Impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
I'll say I avoid their blows and I take something from them.
What do you take?
I take one of their weapons, disarming one of them, and pointing directly at the general.
That's gonna be a bit tricky because their weapons are all melee, and they're not weapons. They're like their fingernails or their hands.
Oh,
that's what they have.
So yeah, so this weird talent. So actually, what I do is I take one of these things and I put it on my hands, and I figure that this must be some kind of general interface. and I put it on the nearest panel to try to get access.
Okay, so well, while that's gonna happen, mark some here. Well, that's gonna happen. All hell is gonna break loose because yeah, you've engaged in violence. So two of the soldiers are gonna be distracted as Golden Development kind of like charges at one of them, and Prism's kind of on the other one. But the one that's not distracted has the rest of you has the rest of you in between them and General Kurin, who's kind of just watching now, pointing the sword spear at y'all, and the I think Turn, you're probably just getting up from that blow um, while this is happening. So I think what they're gonna target, actually, this soldier is gonna target Loki because they pulled out a bomb, and they're gonna do that. They're gonna jump up in the air and try to land on you and start pecking at you. Loki, what do you do?
I'm going to bring up the staff that I brought with me and just try and like hold this Tangee at arm's length at the end of the pose, like like just push them back.
Like a shish kebab chicken. Okay. That sounds like yeah. If you can find an obvious flaw, like even in their in their philosophy, like yeah. Tell me. Yeah. So you're directly engaging a threat. Yes.
Do we know how exactly they think that Freak is going to cause this time ripper?
They've not said it yet. All you know is you have him.
Okay.
Maybe if you start asking that, but at the point but if you try to ask that, you're in the middle of a melee. You're gonna have to do like a pierce the mask or provoke something to get an answer about it because you've engaged. Yeah. So directly engaging a threat. Roll plus danger. Loki.
My danger is 1 currently, so let's see. Okay, it's a 10.
Jesus Christ. Will somebody fail a roll? Well, okay, Turn failed a roll. Sorry. All right. So on a hit, you're gonna trade blows. On 10 plus, you pick 2. Is that before?
So I'm gonna resist or avoid their blows, and I'm gonna create an opportunity for my allies because while I'm holding them off, it's like they're occupied with me, and they're not making any headway, so they're open to somebody else.
Okay, so as you hold up this other Tangee soldier, and one of them's been disarmed, and so describe what you're doing. You pull up the staff to the soldier.
Yep.
All right, so I think just the very fact that you pulled out the bomb is enough of a distraction. So like kind of like, even though Regicide has disarmed one of the Tangee soldiers, they're gonna move towards you, and General Kurin is I don't know if people notice it, but he started walking slowly towards you and still pointing the sword spear at you. Meanwhile, the other two are occupied there. I think people have a chance to act. Duo, what are you doing?
So I think Duo is going to try to use their powers of like kind of reverse the flow. Instead of trying to just understand what somebody's thinking and trying to figure out their emotions, I think they're trying to do that to the general, right? And to try to have the general feel what it's like to be human, because it sounds like the general's so like their form of thinking is like, oh, we're immutable and logic and like we can't make mistakes, and to let them see that that's not the only reality, right? And to see what that does to them. I don't know if it'll do good or bad, but
All right. Okay. So tell me how Duo's doing this.
So
And
what I
then
think, yeah. So what I'm thinking here is that Tsul is taking Paula's kind of emotional states, right, and like uncertainty and all this stuff, and trying to funnel it into the general's mind, right? And so I'm trying to kind of trigger the come on lucky, which is basically your pet move, to which is attached to other basic moves. And in my case, it was attached to unleash your powers and some other stuff. So I'm trying to kind of like use unleash your power onto the general, and it gives me like a +1 because it's the pet or whatever.
yeah, it'll be helpful because to roll unleash your powers, you have to roll freak, and your freak is a -1.
Yeah. So
yeah, so roll plus freak with
all
freak
right.
stats.
I mean, maybe it'll go bad. Maybe it'll reveal a weakness on our. All right, I'm gonna re-roll them dice.
Oh dear.
That's a 5 +0.
Okay, so what's gonna happen is mark potential. And you try. Sewell tries to grab onto General Curran's mind, and he actually snickers at this. Snickers. That's not the right word. He smirks at this. I don't know if you can see a beak smirk, and he's like, "Huh, a slug from the Gulag planet. I thought we had purged you all." You're gonna take a condition there, Joe.
That's awesome.
How does that make you feel?
I think there's obviously, I think there's, yeah. Oh wait. So when you say how does that make me feel? So the condition. Let me just take a look real quick.
Yeah. There's a list there.
I think it's. I'm going to go with anger.
Makes sense.
I don't think that Tsul realized, why they're on their own or what happened to their people or whatever, right? So I think this is like a huge kind of shock. And I think the fact that Duo is like these two intertwined mentalities, I think they're kind of like starting to reinforce each other in strange ways. So even if, like Tsul's tapped into Paula and like there's the sadness and anger and fear and whatever, but I think like they grab anger and are, that just starts welling up in them as they realize what's going on here or what had happened.
Yeah. So everyone hears this. Before we get to regicide turn, what are you doing? You've gotten up. Kind of like this all happened like in seconds. But General Curran is just kind of like smirking, and when after he says that, he's like, another mistake that we should rectify today. As they're walking towards all of you, Turn, what do you do?
I'm gonna do my misleading move. I'm gonna do I'm gonna fire up some illusions of myself. I'm gonna do the Naruto thing again. It's I can't help it. And I'm just gonna do 4 or 5 copies, and we're all gonna rush the guy at the same time. And then I'm gonna keep teleporting them so he doesn't realize that I'm trying to teleport behind them. And I'm imagining if it goes well that he'll try cutting down the illusions and he'll realize that he only cut down the fakes, and then I'll be behind him and I'll be able to release Freak.
All right, roll plus superior.
Oh, now we're talking. That's 9.
Anyone want to use team to aid? Get bumped out to a 10. All right, is everyone kind of busy? Duo's over there, overwhelmed by emotions. Regicide's trying to do something with the panel. Loki has a staff holding someone up there. Yeah, I think you can live with that 9, I suppose.
Yeah, it's okay. Yes.
I mean, I could do something like that. Welling of anger can be used in some way. So,
oh yeah, all right. So what are you doing? Yeah.
I mean, so what does that look like? Turn? What do you?
It's like a bunch of turn copies rushing towards the general and teleporting all over the place, and then just trying to confuse him. And the real one teleports next to the control panel to Freak's cage, while the others keep distracting the general.
Yeah, I think I can just be in that mix, right? I think just duo, just seeing. I think there's a little bit of logic from Paula's side where she's able to see what Turn is trying to do, and she just steps back and lets Saul take over the body, her body, and they just go apeshit, right? And just start, like she's not even control. It's the suit which is controlling, her actual limbs, and it's just out there, just starting to attack, and just being one of these many distractors.
All right. That bumps you up to a 10. So choose 3 of those.
All right. I avoid further entanglement. Always good. I get an opportunity, and well, I can either expose a weakness or flaw, or confuse them for some time. I'm gonna expose a flaw, see if I can trigger Loki's move.
Okay. So I think when you've done all this confusion, and what's gonna happen is when it comes to you, he goes from monologue mode to warrior killer mode and just does these big long swipes. And the thing is, they're precise, and they hit your clones, and they're very measured. He's not he's not wildly swinging. He's just like But the thing is, there's a lot of those turn clones, and so you get an opportunity to run up to Freak. So there's that, and the thing is, what they're avoiding you, and what Loki you probably noticed as well as Turn, and probably Duo as well, get the Freak, is that he's almost like not really. He's moving towards Loki. It's like he's confident that whatever machine is, you all can't mess with. So he's moving towards Loki, who has a bomb, and to Regicide, who has a panel. But I guess he is very confident that it's gonna work out. Because he's very sure. He's like there. He's just very much like confident that we've seen what's gonna happen, and even if even the 2 of them get to the machine, they're not going to do jack until it's too late. So Loki, you think that's enough? I think it's enough.
So I think Loki is going to stand his ground while the general is making their way towards him, and just sort of like put a foot on the bomb like it's a football, and it was just sort of waiting, and keeping the general's attention on him so that like one of the others can get behind them and take them by surprise. So yeah, I'm triggering the tactical genius when you point out the obvious flaw on Foe's plan. He's too focused on me right now, so roll plus savior. Please. Oh yeah, that's an 11.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, so on a hit, you're right about the flaw. Another teammate of your choice can take advantage, and they get +1 ongoing to act on your information.
Who do we think would be best? I think me and Regicide have worked together the most, so I think if I'm going to be tag teaming with anybody, it would be them. So,
all right. So, do you shout? What do you say to point out the flaw so that they know?
It's not so much that I'm saying saying something to regicide. It's more that like I'm yelling at the general. It's like, oh yeah, come on then, let's do this. And I'm just sort of like silently signaling regicide with a glance.
All right. So, do you still have the staff with the with the Tangee soldier on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if it was a stun setting, he'd probably have used the stun setting to knock out the.
Okay. All right. So mechanically, that. All right. So what's gonna happen is, yeah, when you stun that one. There was another one that was disarmed rich that was going for you, but suddenly they're waylaid by, it's Prism, but for some reason she has red hair now, and she's like very angry, going ah! And she takes this Tangee sword and just throws it to the wall, back to where they're having their fight over there, and you see, oh yeah, there's 7 prisms now, and 4 of them are not doing anything. They're over there in the corner, while this angry one is just going, "Come on, you pieces of turkey! Come on!" Yeah, so that's happening over there. So, regicide. So what did you want to do with the claw? As Loki squares up to General Kurin.
So I smirk, seeing what Loki's suggesting, because I get the feeling, yeah, he pretty much confirmed that they kind of predicted that me and Loki will try to get through a technological assault. So they studied this long enough and predicted our actions to make it pointless for us. But the thing is, as I try to find that I'm concentrating accessing the terminal, but actually I turn around and I flip over myself and try to scratch at the general with my claw.
Oh shit! All right, so you're directly engaging, I assume. I assume like that's not what you're doing. Yeah, so you're gonna get a +1 as you're acting.
Okay, so
danger.
So 11.
Oh my god. Well, all right, pick 2. You're trading blows.
Okay.
No one wants to not pick resist or avoid blows. No one.
So I frighten the opposition, and I resist or avoid their blows.
Okay, so you know how the general was all measured, and he sees the challenge, and he is just smirking. He's like, "Is this what you have best to offer?" And then scratch, and he lets out this like big shrill shriek, like like how a bird would shriek, and in his clawing, and when he was measured before, now it's an instinctual flailing at the moment, and
maybe you better recheck your bath.
God. So yeah, so Zami is flailing, and the spear is getting everywhere, and it's kind of scratching up, and it's going to like, yeah, he is lashing out, and the thing is, he is moving. When he does that, he kind of lurches forward and is moving towards you, Loki, as he's waving it around. Meanwhile, back on the other side of the room, Duo, you and Turn have made it to the machine where Freak is being held up. What do you want to do, Duo?
I think. Does it look like something that I can try to pull Freak off of?
You can try. The thing is, what's happening? He's suspended in midair, and Freak's been described as kind of like he has kind of like a weird white metal, like liquid metal body, and they don't really look like a kid, but Turn knows who Freak is. So they're suspended, like there's a pillar of light coming from this pedestal, holding his legs, and there's 2 pillars on the ceiling and light, holding up his arms. You don't see any console nearby. All you see are just the 3 pedestals, the 3 pylons, actually, more likely. Well, that's
I think I'm gonna just like try to like look at that situation, right? Like I've got my jetpack, so I can fly up and look at the things like around him and what's holding him up, and just see if I can figure something out here. I mean, especially if the part of Duo, which is Space Slug, maybe understands something that the human doesn't technologically. I don't know.
Mhm. I thought you meant like something the Turn doesn't understand. Sorry. All right. So roll plus superior. So you're assessing the situation.
I am. I do have straight up creeping.
Oh yeah. You can do that as well. You're scoping out
Yeah,
person or place.
a person or place. All right.
It just depends on which set of questions you want.
Right. Let me do this. I'll do this.
Yeah, mundane. Your mundane is better.
Yeah. 3 + 2. Oh man, Freak's dice. Well, it's Freak's fault. I'm using Freak's dice. So,
all right. So
yeah.
What's gonna happen is when you get close to this energy, you just get an inch too close, and it hits you, and this is gonna feel like it's gonna only last a second on the outside, but the inside it feels like forever as you like without you accidentally bond with a tear in space and time as all because that's what the energy is. They're short form tears in space and time. That's what I'll give you that because you touched it. Well, you got close to it. So suddenly everything all at once, every event in the universe collides in your head. And that's enough to that's a powerful blow, I'm gonna say. So you're just gonna roll plus conditions. You got one, so +1.
All right, re-roll. That's 6 + 1, 7.
Okay, so that's the one you want to get hit. So on a 7 to 9, choose one. You lash out verbally, you give ground, or you struggle past the pain. Give ground is you give opposition opportunity. Struggle past the pain is mark 2 conditions.
I think I'm going to give ground. I think this is one of those scenes where that shock, like I fall out of the, like I lose control of the jetpack. I fall out of the sky there, and I think Duo gets separated, right? So I think the two of them, are kind of disabled near each other on the ground.
Okay, so I think that's giving grounds, and one of you's kind of disabled for now. Turn, what do? You've seen Duo just get zonked by this, but you're still there looking at the machine. What are you doing?
Ah, God damn it, Duo. The situation is falling apart.
It has. Well, you can see General Kurin waving their sword spear around, and maybe in this you can see, yeah. So everything's actually doing fine. It's just that the Duo there just got hit by everything.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try to push my powers to do something that I really haven't before, which is try teleporting someone instead of teleporting myself.
All right.
So I'm gonna try to teleport Freak out of there.
Okay. I'll tell you now, if you're gonna fail this roll, the consequences will be, well, it won't be too hard because you still have, because the way you get knocked out in this game is you fill up all your conditions, so that's not gonna happen. But all right, you're unleashing your powers. Yeah, go ahead. Roll plus Freak.
Okay. I'm doing this for you, Freak. Ah, God damn it.
I'm glad someone picked a moment of truth, so just in case this goes on for too long. But okay, let's.
I'm saving it. Like, I want a cue of when to use it.
Yeah, well, I'll leave it up to you. But for now, this is gonna be rough. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna take a powerful blow and take a condition anyway. How do you feel? Oh, okay. What's gonna happen is, so you try to teleport, but that energy is perfectly calculated. It is perfectly calculated space-time energy that is slowly ripping Freak apart. That's you don't touch that thing unless it's calculated to you, and if calculated to him, it's not calculated to you at all. So you're kind of gonna get hit by the same thing that happened with Duo, except it's worse because instead of just lightly brushing on it, you try to teleport into it.
I think teleport freak out of it actually.
Oh, so you tried to you did the thing. Okay, so all right, so you're not going to take an extra condition. You're just going to take a powerful blow as your magic comes into contact with everything.
All right.
Oh,
Oh, and of course I got a 7.
why in that role you're succeeding? All right, so lash out verbally, give ground, or struggle past the pain.
I'm gonna scream at Duo's unconscious body.
Come on.
I'm gonna give ground.
Okay, so what's gonna happen is the system has detected that you're trying to free Freak. So what's going to happen is you see as you kind of fall on the ground and trying to deal with everything in your head, everything simultaneously happening. You see kind of like the pythons twist just a bit more, and you couldn't see it back then, but now you can see it. The energy is slowly slicing away nanites from Freak. The fact you can see it back then means there was a slow process, but now that you can see it, you're now on a clock. They're going to get their job done sooner than you'd think. Meanwhile, back to the General Kurin fight. Loki, all right, you got something prepared as he is waving his stick at you. He's gonna get up on your. You said grout. That's not a body part. Oh, what do you do?
I'd like to. I'm just gonna try and keep him occupied, and I'm not trying to get a hit in. I'm just holding him off while I try and think of something, taking in the situation.
Are you trying? Yes.
I'm trying to assess the situation.
All right. Okay, so let you roll that first, and you can say you're assessing this as you're holding him off. Roll plus superior. Oh yeah, for all those failed rolls, remember to take potential. Mark potential.
Okay, so that's a 10.
All right, actually, let me see. You have conditions. What does guilty do?
Oh wait, no, it's a 9 because guilty takes that down.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh yeah, it does. So I should remember that. Oh, but you still get it. I can ask one question.
What here can I use to disable the machine that's tearing Freak apart?
You brought it with you. If you can recalibrate it to not be a bomb, and well, that's the thing. You have to get to the machine and kind of like it's going to be another role. You have to figure out how to calibrate so they can destroy the machine and do something. But you have to get past General Kurin first. Well, Regicide's there. You've scratched General Kurin's face. He's kind of screaming and flailing towards Loki. And Loki's barely holding him off. Like the only reason why Loki's holding off is that General Kurin is being frantic at the moment, and they can't see properly. What do you do, Regicide?
I think I'm going to draw a bit from the villain's playbook, and I'm gonna to try and lock the general, pin him down, kind of to make all the other Tangee kind of comply. So
you're trying to take him hostage?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So thing is, all right. Okay. So that sounds like, well, you're engaging. I think it's still an engagement, I'd say, unless you can tell me otherwise, which I'll accept if you think it's another move. But you're still engaging a highly mobile threat, even though they're incapacitated for now. Yeah, you're going full on. You're not. All right. So roll plus danger, and your danger is your best stat anyway. So
7.
Ooh, so you only pick one.
Ooh. So I'm gonna say I create an opportunity.
All right. Okay, so let me I need to check a box here. And another thing. Okay, so what do you do? Describe to me what you're doing, like to pin him down.
So as he's blind and kind of thrashing around, I get really close and I try to put one arm above him and another arm on the lowest part of his wingspan and try to pin him down. And on the process, I probably get a lot of scratches. And as I'm putting him down, I pretty much get declare myself the biggest threat, as I'm literally putting their leader at risk and putting this entire endeavor at risk. So I pretty much draw attention to everyone to me, so I create an opportunity for others to act.
Okay, so I think I guess I'm sorry, but the other two are kind of knocked out trying to deal with everything in their mind right now. So I'm turning back to Loki. You've got an opportunity.
Okay, I'm gonna scoop up the bomb. I'm gonna run over to the execution device, and I'm gonna try and reconfigure this to disrupt that energy.
Okay, that's okay. Give it a choice. Can you unleash your powers, or you have one more gadget in your hold?
I will use the gadget.
All right. So tell me what this gadget is using to reconfigure the bomb.
I kind of want to say, like, plug in, like it's the same gadget that I used earlier, but I'm basically plugging Eris in and saying, okay, and I know you can do it. I know you can do what's right. That I have faith in you. Sort of.
All right. So before I tell you what Eris says, you're gonna have to roll for superior.
Oh, this could go super right.
Good. But...
That's a 10.
Well, there you go. It doesn't, and I think there's a brief moment. It's kind of everything goes silent as Eris kind of like. I think she still has access to your subdermal network, so you kind of hear her voice, and this is the first time in a long time you hear her just say something instead of scream it at you. She says, "What was I built to do?"
Protect humanity.
All right. So when you plug in this device, I think it's immediate. It's like suddenly the bomb device you have suddenly has become some sort of this battery, as Eris is directing it to suck out all of the time space energy being pulled out in these pylons. And what she's doing as well, because she's a super smart AI, is that she is this is gobbledygook for me, moving algorithms so that the pylons just shut off as the excess energy is sucked into the battery. As the energy goes, the pylons disappear, and Freak falls to the ground, unconscious but breathing. And I think General Curran sees that, and I don't. Before he does that, General Curran is kind of like laughing at you. He's starting to say something to you, Reg side, and he's saying something like, "Do you really think that my life is worth the Tangee failing? Holding me changes nothing." But as he says that, you can feel like the energy kind of the humming of the pylons disappear as Freak falls to the ground. And I think what's gonna happen is, because I think we're wrapping this up. Duo, you can you can be awake again. Don't worry, you don't have to be unconscious for this. I think and turn as well, as you're kind of getting up, and Freak's there. And what's gonna happen is Golden Development is gonna run up. There's like 4 different prisms on them as they're running towards you, and I think in the big view of Prospect City, you kind of see there's a big explosion. There's some explosions in the distance, and you kind of see suddenly big torrent of purple energy shooting down the battle platforms, as kind of like as the shield around the Crown Abundant has fallen, and as the shield falls, I think the alarms start blaring around as like these computers start seeing like bogeys coming in for the ship, and not just in Prospect City, but from outside Prospect City as well. As took them long enough, but the cavalry has finally come. As Go Development's like, we got what we need. Get Freak out of here. And okay, who created Golden Development again? What does Local Pride look like? The car.
It looks like a flying Cadillac, very bright yellow, and it has the wheels turned upside down, and instead of proper wheels, it's some kind of arcane proposal device that shall not work but completely does.
Oh my god. Okay. I want to give you all information of how you all, what's the feeling and how you all get jumping on this fucking Cadillac. I think there's a moment. Actually, I'll give something this, because the two of you, Turn and Duo, you saw everything. I can give you a fragment of something you want to learn, just like a small fragment, just in case we see you all again before you pile onto this Cadillac.
Oh, they said something about like whether or not there's any other people of tools out there.
I think what you see a glimpse of the Tangee just pouring fire and lasers into the planet where Zool comes from, and it looks definitive. But I think your emotional bond reaches through time and space, and as the Tangee kind of leave, you feel that even in this barren rock, I think maybe like you feel like familiar presences that are still there in that barren rock. Not to give away anything, but I am running a masks that is traveling to other planets in April. So I'm just gonna say it right now. Turn, do you want something? You want a moment? You want to know?
Like get information from the Tangier? Like
any information. You saw everything. You're not gonna retain all of it. You can retain one thing. You can even see your future if you want.
Who needs the future? I have visions to accept. I think what I'm gonna see is I'm gonna try to focus on the deaths of all of these Tangier that are on the same ship that we are at this point. And I'm gonna like illusionize their last moments in front of their eyes over and over again as we're leaving, as a way of my moment of truth to completely warp their minds forever, so they don't come bothering us again.
I'm not gonna make you roll. Oh god. Yeah.
I think like Turn is helping Duo get on the Cadillac, and everyone's getting on it and leaving. It just turns around, and he's glowing. His eyes are glowing pink. There's magical energy crackling around him. The Tangier are trying to get their shit together to try to attack us, and I just go like, like my illusions manifest are like the smoke that I project, and I just do it, and it like wraps their faces, and we see like some 2001: A Space Odyssey shit where just like the eyes of Tangee are just wildly moving while they see images that they shouldn't be able to see. I'm just projecting a whole bunch of shit in their eyes to warp their minds
Yeah.
or getting all this shit.
Yeah, I think we're then. I'm not gonna make you roll for that. I think you've got your gander up, and your magic in you is gonna you. Well, we'll see. But I think yeah, you get you watch the Tangee ship's energy as y'all leave in this Cadillac that somehow has expanded to seat like 7 people. Don't know how that happened. And as you see it, I think the last thing you see is kind of like general courier. Oh, do you want to do something, Loki, before y'all leave?
I think like as Loki's getting on the Cadillac, he looks back and sees like maybe there's a holographic display that's sort of flickering, and he just sees like one last flash of Eris's face before he turns and gets in the Cadillac.
All right. Yeah, and I think as you pile on the Cadillac, you feel the Tangee ship lifting off before it can leave, and the last thing you see is on the broken. I guess you all jump through the window. I'm gonna assume that's what I was thinking has happened. You see like just standing on the broken window, like General Kurian, sword spear, and you can see the magic on his face, but he's just glaring at all of you as trying to retain some dignity as you escape and the Tangee leave. And yeah, I think well, the rest is abstracted. The Tangee have fled as Halcyon City finally sent some of their heroes to rescue poor Prospect City. I want to know what happens to y'all in the aftermath. Let's have some epilogues. Let's go in the order of the character keeper. Regicide, Casey, what's up?
So we see Agent Fulmero back on with the edges, and she's throwing the book at Regicide. And well, you cannot go back lurking to the shadows. And Aegis is going to keep an eye on you, and we have conditions for you to stay. And she puts forward an application for the school
For Prospect Academy.
And Regicide is like, oh no.
But Agent Firmer is like, oh, don't worry about the application's formality. They'll take on anyone, but you just have to go there for now. All right, turn. What do we see of you in the aftermath?
Oh, I thought you were following the character keeper, but
whoops, I forgot. Yeah, no. Sorry, I said forgiven. I saw the order here. Yeah. Well, I'll stick to my guns.
Which of them?
Which of them? I have too many. I have too many guns. Someone help me budget. Loki. All right. No, I'll stick to that gun. Loki, what do we see of you in the aftermath?
I think Loki is just like checking data streams and like checking the internet and using different methods he knows to try and find some sign that Eris survived the destruction of the ship, or
you get an email. It's unlisted. It's a nonsense gibberish email address, and it's just a single sentence. What's the first thing Eris ever said to you when you activated them?
Trying to think of something.
I don't think she turned immediately angry and mad. Maybe it was just a simple hello.
Yeah, it's like
Hello, I am whatever Eris stands for. You can call me Eris. Something like that? Or
yeah, something like that.
I think
Protocol Eris protocol active.
yeah, I think that's the only thing you get for now. But yeah, it's a sign. Turn, what's the last see of you?
Well, he goes full on rogue after this. He burned all his bridges. He saw how people are incompetent, and he just like he's not a villain, but he doesn't play by the rules. He's just like an outlaw hero, but he's really going into the hero thing. He's trying to get more in touch with his magic and trying to become more powerful to like serve the people who can't rely on the system, so to speak.
Of course. Finally, duo. When we last see of you?
I think with duo, yeah, I think we see Paula, and currently not in duo suit, right? And she's we see her in some agency or something. She's like taking a test or something, and like some paper test, and then hands it up. And we see her walk out of this room, and it looks like she's basically in some kind of like astronaut camp. Like it's some kind of training for, some governmental type thing or whatever, that's looking for people to go up into space. And so we just get the sense of, like she's taken on the goal of her friend there, and they're going to try to find her lost people, or their lost people.
Nice. And because we live in a superhero universe, that's not as hard as it is here to go to space, probably. Yeah, and I think you just get a last shot then of Prospect City rebuilding on to the next adventure. And as we all leave you there, and we might see you again in the future. We might not, but yeah, you've beaten off the Tangee. That's Iron Red Soldiers then. Thanks very much for playing. Thanks for experiencing all this. I'm going to stop the broadcast now. Say goodbye to YouTube.
Bye.
Bye. And see you all next time.